So today I am here to review the CB500F. This is the 2017 model, and I just went on a tour up to northern Thailand, starting my loop in Bangkok. So I started in Bangkok, I went all the way up to Chiang Mai, did the Mae Hong Son loop, and went all the way back down to Bangkok. And I did about 3,300 kilometers. And I want to give you guys a review today. I did a first impression. You guys can check that out in my other video. And I want to give you a full, thorough review of the CB500F as per my experience with doing the loop and going through the twisties, the mountains, and my experiences as, you can say, a novice rider. I want to first start off by saying that this is a great engine, and it has a twin cylinder, 471cc to be exact, and the power delivery is manageable. I come from scooters, mopeds, e-bikes, 125ccs, 150ccs, 300ccs. So I'm not a big bike kind of guy, so this is my kind of mid-size, I guess you can say, for the bike that I took. This is the naked version. So there's three versions. There is the CB500R, or the CBR, which is the sports bike, and you have the CB500X, which is the more adventure bike, and this is the CB500F, which is the naked bike or the street bike. And I took it on a tour all the way up to northern Thailand. If you guys don't already know, you guys can check my other episodes or my video about my tour in Thailand. But Mae Hong Son is very popular with foreigners. It's a great ride. I have to say, you have, to be exact, 1,864 curves on this road. You're going through the twisties. The roads are really nice. You're going through the twisties, you're going through the curves, you're going through the hairpin curves, and it's just a blast. I had a blast going through the Mae Hong Son loop with this bike. Let me give you my dimensions. I am 6'4", about 193 centimeters. I am about 75 kilograms, or about 175 pounds. What I noticed is, when I'm riding, the mirrors, actually, it's a little hard to see behind you. Maybe it's because I'm a little bit taller. My feet touch the floor when I'm on the bike, so that's not a problem. But my knees, when I'm riding for a long time, my knees are bent in an angle where, for a long time, more than 90 degrees. So yeah, it aches a little bit, but I take breaks at least every hour, because the seat or my bony butt cannot take being on that bike for an hour straight. I've tried, and I'm always getting up, going down, getting up, going down, and I'm moving around just because my butt is hurting too much. I have nothing bad to say about the engine. The power delivery is great. The low-end torque, I would say, is okay. I think this engine is known for the second gear or third gear, and the fastest that I ever went on the bike on the highway was about 130 kilometers per hour. So I can see that when I'm going about 100 kilometers, that the engine is working a little bit. That's about 60 miles per hour. But you can go further than that, but you can see that it's trying. And you can cruise at 100. Once you go a little bit more than that, you see the engine is working, but there's no vibration at all. This bike comes equipped with ABS. This one has an ABS model. And so I didn't have to use the ABS during my trip, but I would say the braking is better than average. I wouldn't say it's the best. I wouldn't say it's the worst. The braking power is more than enough for your daily commute, or even the loop that I went on. The height of this bike, for me, it seems a little bit short. And I'm a pretty tall guy. I know I've seen other reviews on YouTube. They're about 5'7" or 5'8", and they said that the bike fits them perfectly. It is a naked bike, and so you sit upright. The front suspension is adjustable, but I feel my arms are a little bit lower. Feel like it can be a little bit higher for me. I know other people feel very comfortable on the bike. I also feel very comfortable. Maybe a few minor adjustments. Maybe the seat can be a little bit more comfortable for longer rides, but this is not really known to be for touring. So I've used it for touring, so just my 2 cents on about the seat, about the suspension or the suspension travel. So we're gonna come around. Here we have a very big tank. I don't know the specifics. I'll put it down below. The mileage is great. The kilometers are great. I put 95 and I put about 300 baht, which is about $10 here in Thailand. And it's a full tank of gas. And I get easily 350 to about 400 kilometers per tank. So definitely more than enough. It's actually really great. We have the back seat. You can put another person on the back. You can put your woman, you can put your girl. So this here is a street bike. And what I did was I went on a little tour and it performed great. I would have to say, even with these street tires, it's not like that I went off-road, but I did go through the mountains and I did go a bit where the roads were broken or potholes and a bit muddy, rainy, different types of weather, and climbing the twisties, climbing the mountains. I'm going up angles which are could be about 40, 45 degree angles going up, and it had no problem. Low end torque is not known to be for the low end torque, but the low end torque more than enough. Going through the twisties and going through the steep angles. The cornering is great. I have to say that the bike is very well balanced. This bike is very manageable and it wants to stay upright. When you're turning or cornering, it feels great. I feel very confident when I'm turning, and I guess the tires, the engine, the balance, all works in favor for the confidence that it gives you. It's about 420-pound bike or about a 200 somewhat kilogram bike, but it doesn't feel as heavy. And I think that's what makes the difference. I'm confident in turning, cornering, accelerating. I have nothing really bad to say besides the mirrors. For me, since I'm a bit taller, can't really see behind you. You have to really lean and try to get a good angle. These are the stock mirrors. Also the handlebars. I don't know if it's my preference, but I usually have my hands out further out than the grips. And I feel like maybe the handlebars a little bit too close together for my liking or my preference. And I usually have it out all the way out here. And I feel like maybe that could be a little bit longer. Maybe it's these are stock and you can be able to change those as well. I like this bike actually. I like the CB500F. If it was more to my preference, I would choose the 500X. Of course, it's more of a touring, adventure, go a little bit off-road. The suspension travel, it's taller. I guess for touring, since this is a street bike, you don't have the windshield. Definitely for the longer highway miles that you are on, you would want a windshield. Of course, I have my helmet, and sometimes I wonder if I had a windshield. The exhaust. This is the stock exhaust. It's not loud. It's not obnoxious. It's quiet. I guess for some people, because I've had incidents where I'm on the highway or if I'm on a heavy trafficked road, especially here in Bangkok, people or cars or trucks don't see me. And so you want it to be as auditory where people also listen to where you are and not also just see you. So in that sense, maybe a louder exhaust would be safer, but I had no issue. I try to be as defensive as possible, keep my vision as far out as possible. Even on turns, I try to be more careful and I take it slower, and I try to make sure I'm using my GPS and know where the curves are coming, or if it's a blind spot, I try to be more careful and I try to go from out in and out. What I would have to say, the acceleration is great. It's not overpowering. If you wanted to overtake cars and trucks on the highway, easily manageable, and easily you're able to do that. If you guys are considering the CB500F or the whole CB500 line, I mean, you can't really make a mistake. It's tried, true, and tested, and especially in Thailand where the parts are plentiful. And since this bike's been out for quite some time now and it's interchangeable with the other CB lines, it's easy to find mechanics or parts that you're looking for. It's pretty much a get up and go kind of bike, and it's reliable. I would have to say that this bike really did great. I had zero issues from all of the 3,300 kilometers that I rode up. So I did the loop actually from Bangkok all the way up to northern Thailand, doing the Mae Hong Son loop. Great. You guys must, if you come to Thailand, you must take a bike, preferably a bigger CC bike. It will leave you with smiles from ear to ear, and I highly recommend it. It's great roads, and of course there are some areas where there are potholes and maybe they're fixing up the roads, but for the most part I would say 85–90% of the road is great. So here we have the dash. You have, let me turn it on for you. Okay, you have your normal fuel gauge. You have your RPM, the limit being 10,000. You have a tachometer. I have the adjustable levers and adjustable front brakes. You have your high beam. You have your horn. You have your indicator, left-right indicator. You have your kill switch. You have your hazards, and you have your electronic starts. You guys can listen to the stock exhausts. Which does the job. It doesn't have a gear indicator, just it has neutral, and it has 6 gears. It has 6 gears, and it's great. I'm used to bikes that have 5 gears, but 6 is great, especially going on the highway and trying to get more top speed. I'm always switching from 5 to 6 on the highway, and that extra gear, the 6th gear, definitely helps. I would have to say, in conclusion, touring Thailand on this CB500F street bike. It's a street bike, but I took it on a tour. I had a big bag on the back of the seat. No issues whatsoever. You can even tour on this bike. I would say the 500X or some other adventure bikes with some panniers or a top box would definitely be better, but it's doable. And I have no qualms about it. I loved my experience. I had too much fun. Would I do it again? Would I do it again? Would I do the Mae Hong Son loop? I did it in a counterclockwise. You could do it clockwise as well. I wish I had more time. I would just drive back and forth, going through the curves. It's just that much fun. If you guys come to Thailand, you guys must. If you're an adventure enthusiast, you want to be able to do the Mae Hong Son loop. So this is my review on the CB500F. Only little few things that I would have to say that annoyed me, if even that. I will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure to check out my episodes for my Thailand touring trip by motorcycle, and also be sure to check out my Mae Hong Son detailed video about the places that I've been to by motorcycle and visiting the different villages and the roads that I was on and enjoying. And until next time, keep moving.